Castlemania, one of the best CTM maps to release this year. Like any good map, it's full of gorgeous builds, hidden secrets, and definitely has no shortage of challenging dungeons. But one thing that makes this map stand out from the rest is its completely brand new healing system. In Castlemania, you can't just regenerate health by eating food the same way you can in regular Minecraft. In fact, you don't even have a hunger bar, it's replaced by this mana bar. So what you do instead is you have to find this healing flask, which you can sip out of to regenerate some of your health, but you can only use it twice before it runs out. Afterwards, you can use some of your mana to refill it. The cool part is enemies drop mana, so you have to get into the thick of combat if you want to actually heal. It's a cool system, and using it is a lot of fun. But for this run, we're throwing all of that in the garbage. That's right, I'm going to be running through all 16 of the combat-focused dungeons in this map without using the primary healing system. So if I get hit, that health is pretty much gone. Can you beat Castlemania without using any mana? Castlemania starts you off in this random cave, but luckily the first dungeon really isn't too hard. Monster spawners are spaced pretty far apart and don't spawn anything too powerful. My goal is just to grab this wool, get as much gear as I can, and then get out of here, hopefully without taking much damage along the way. If you don't know, the goal of a CTM map is to traverse various dungeons in search of objectives, usually different colors of wool, and then assemble them on a structure called the monument. When you get all of them and complete the monument, you win. That's what CTM stands for, complete the monument. Now, I should say that there's more strategy to this than just not getting hit. The whole reason this challenge is even possible is that if you look around, you'll be able to find these regeneration potions throughout the map. They can be kind of rare and they don't regenerate much. This splash potion only heals 3 hearts, which is okay, but keep in mind that they're impossible to make more of. The ones I find are it. Either way, it's going to be my main source of healing for now. Luckily, since you're only intended to get the healing flask at the end of the first dungeon, it's actually pretty generous with the potions for now, so I get a bit of a stockpile of them, at least to start. So now that we're out in the open section of the map, the world is our oyster. Castlemania is an open world style map, so there's not really much stopping you from going into any dungeon you want, even if it's way too hard for your current gear. Now, it's not impossible to sneak into a late game dungeon and snag a bunch of the powerful loot and trivialize the early game, but I'm going to try to avoid sequence breaking too much and do most of the dungeons in order. That said, there's still plenty of nooks and crannies near the start of the map that I can use to gear up, and before I know it, I've got stone tools and all sorts of other gear. In fact, maybe too much other gear, so I head to the monument to set up a proper base. Problem is, the monument is not the second dungeon. In fact, it's actually the 5th dungeon in the map, and it looks like I might have been biting off a bit more than I can chew. So I decide it's time to call in the big guns.
Hello?
Fun is a longtime friend of mine, and he's been playing CTM maps for even longer than I have. I knew that with his help, we would be unstoppable.
Oh, this is bad. This is really bad, bro. Oh, God. Oh, jeez. Oh, this is not good.
What are you doing?
I am on fire.
Oh my
on
God.
fire.
Why? Having retrieved fun from the start of the map, we press on in the monument. With some difficulty, we make it to the second wool and place it on the monument. Oh, baby, watch this. Boom.
And boom.
Oh, thanks. I was looking for that. It's in the stupid sack. I can't get it out. It's at the bottom of the sack. Well, since it looks like we skipped 3 dungeons, those are next on the list. We press on and conquer this outpost underneath the cliff. This series of winding catacombs. And then finally, this massive underground cave. But unfortunately, they don't go down easy. I'm burning through my stockpile of regeneration potions fast, and I'm not finding nearly enough of them to keep up with demand. With my 4th dungeon beaten, I'm completely out, and I can't even get back to full health anymore. Not good.
4.
Get ready? They've breached!
Oh, fucking zombie behind us. Holy shit.
Throughout the playthrough, I've been keeping an eye out for hidden items called tomes. In Castlemania, there are all sorts of these tomes that provide a variety of powerful effects when you hold them in your offhand, and they don't even require any mana. Now, most of these effects will be pretty useless to me, but I know that somewhere in the map there's a tome called the Tome of Health, which gives you a 2 heart absorption shield once per minute. This item would be huge. It's not exactly the same as regenerating health, but it would mean that I'll actually be able to take some damage, and as long as it isn't too much, the absorption hearts will eventually refill, and it'll be like nothing ever happened. Problem is, though I've played this map once before, I haven't been able to remember the location of even a single tome, let alone the one I'm looking for. I'm just gonna have to press on and hope it turns up eventually. Eventually, without ever quite seeing a full health bar, I finished the underground section, desperately hoping to find that elusive tome. I find another wand I can't use, and a potion here and there to keep me off the ground, but no tome. Finally, after grabbing the wool and taking this elevator, Fun and I gain access to this foresty plateau. Now, it may not look like it at first, but this is actually a huge milestone. I happen to remember that a lot of these trees contain iron ore, and with enough of it, we can stand to majorly upgrade our armor and weapons. These smaller trees are filled with cave spiders, and we really do not want to get hit by one of those. Even still, we persist and even try our hand out on one of these larger trees. It's higher risk, but way higher reward. After a tough fight, we smelt some iron, gear up, and get ready to leave. We're much tougher now, but the potion supply is still practically empty, and the absorption tome is nowhere to be found. Next dungeon on the list is Mossborn Citadel, up the side of this cliff, and it's a rough fight. Spawners are everywhere and tough to find, and the place is crawling with pillagers. Now, normally pillagers aren't that tough, but these guys have crossbows with piercing on them, which means that I can't use my shield to block their arrows. And every arrow I fail to dodge slowly chips away at my health reserves, and I cannot afford to lose them. Uh-oh, I'm at a heart and a half.
Right.
We take enough losses that we have to retreat. Worse still, Fun has to leave and I'm left all alone and barely alive. Oh my god, I'm gonna die. Carefully navigating the surrounding landscape, I desperately scrounge for any potions I might have missed. I know that without a proper supply, I simply will not be able to complete the Citadel. Oh, I was just looking for an axe. Perfect. I find some here and there, and finally decide to scavenge around this pirate ship. Fuck. Alright, hang on. Oh, there it is. Oops. Finally, after hours of limping by, I find the Holy Grail, the Absorption Book. Ta-da! With this, I can finally make some progress. Nice. What the fuck? Finally, the unthinkable happened. I've been doing my very best to avoid dying during this playthrough, since when you think about it, coming back to life is kinda like free healing. Unfortunately, halfway through the map, I slipped up and lost my deathless streak. But hey, that's technically still not using any mana, so I press on. I'm definitely going to continue avoiding death at all costs, but hey, at this point if it happens, it happens. But finally, my little break had to come to an end. It was time to enter the Endgame dungeons. The last third or so of Castlemania is no joke. Lots of spawners with mobs tough as nails. You might notice that even the naturally spawning mobs at this point are starting to look pretty tough. Castlemania uses a custom system for naturally spawning mobs, and what spawns steadily gets tougher as you get further into the map. At this point, I was dealing with naturally spawning zombies with swords, skeletons with flame bows, and charged creepers. Oh my god. But I have one more trick up my sleeve. After a short walk through this town, you can enter this tower structure that houses a shortcut back to the monument. And right below it, another tome. This is an upgraded absorption tome that provides not 2, but 4 regenerating absorption hearts. The caveat is that it only regenerates once every 2 minutes instead of once every minute. On the surface, the health per second is exactly the same, but I'm able to approach tough encounters with significantly more damage leeway. Having equipped my new tome, I carried on exploring the town. It's full of hidden ores that drop diamond nuggets, a nugget type unique to Castlemania. Nearby, I find a wool, which really isn't that hard to get once you've actually found it. The last thing to do before moving on is finding the brown wool, located in a dilapidated, boarded-up house. Inside, after clearing out the mobs, I creep towards this ever-growing mass of black gunk. Within the core of this black rift, I'm taken to another world more horrifying than anything I could imagine. The Pizza Dungeon. The wool is located down on this pizza, pretty close to where you start, but if you try to bridge this way, you'll get close to these spawners. Luckily, I have just a thing to get around them. And that's it for this town. Only one last thing to check out before I leave. Within this building, underneath some TNT, lies another boarded up door. Punch any of this TNT or set off any creepers and you're going up in smoke. I actually don't even know what's in here because on my last playthrough that's exactly what happened. Any treasure at the end of this room was reduced to atoms. It's a tome. Ah, finally the mega tome. It's a miracle. I've uncovered another tome that's actually useful to me. This whole playthrough I was expecting to use only the absorption tomes, since they provide me one of the only ways I have of recovering health, but this tome is everything I could have dreamed of. Holding it makes me slowly regenerate my actual HP, finally ending my reliance on these regeneration potions to heal. If I wait enough time, I can recover all my health every single time. Better yet, I can alternate the Tome of Health and the Tome of Regeneration so that I get the best of both worlds. I can hold the Tome of Health until I get my shield back, and after that I can switch to the Tome of Regeneration to recover any red hearts I may have lost in the meantime. It's an extremely powerful combo, but it's the miracle I'm gonna need if I want to finish this map. The last 4 dungeons of Castlemania are all contained in this enormous castle. One in the massive cathedral on the right. One down below in this maze of a library. Another deep within a mine, plastered in explosives. And finally, the Black Wool, located in the highest point of the castle, encased in this purple rift. I gear up. Take a deep breath, and I head inside. Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh. Uh-oh. God damn it. Oh, what if that killed me? There we go. As everyone knows, nail guns are known for their flame effect. Oh, goodbye. Oh, that feels good. Okay. Ah, white wool. Found it. The archives. Where are they coming from, man? Don't like. Oh, that's not good. Uh-huh, okay. Ah, sneaky. Got it. Oh my. Everything's already spawning. a sec. Okay. Now let's get all the loot. At last, only one challenge remains. This massive tower. A dozen crumbling layers of scaffolding with the meanest mobs imaginable. The outside is covered with enough gas spawners to make crawling around the outside impossible, and it makes any broken walls on the inside a total death trap. That's good. Found it. Oh. All right. No. Eventually, I take another lethal fall. It's kind of anticlimactic, actually. By the time I get back, all of the ghasts have despawned and there's barely any danger left. So, I do the only reasonable thing I can think of. I hide in a hole and generate some more ghasts. Alright. At last, it was over. After 16 long dungeons, Castlemania was finally defeated, and without ever using a lick of mana. Thanks for watching.